It's no secret that in this day and age, minorities are still dealing with racism on college campuses. With some of the most recent events affecting students, such as Mizzou, students across the nation have decided to stand with Mizzou and be active on their campus for student rights. But what about City College? Are we active at all? We talked to USG President Kenny Soto to hear more about his thoughts on the student activism in Mizzou and how it affects City College students.
The Missouri events that are happening there, it is a perfect example of what happens when students are actually involved. Knowledge spreads really quickly, and then things happen and people take action. The perfect example of how this is not happening in our college is right now there is proposed amendments that if they get passed by the Board of Trustees of CUNY, our tuition will increase $300 every year for the next 5 years again. And the main issue that's happening right now is that even if we tell students that this is happening, there is no action taking place.
We also talked to Renee Flory, Tau Kappa Epsilon fraternity president, to hear more of his thoughts on activism here at City College.
So in terms of what I've been seeing at City College in relation to Missouri has been disappointing. I think the reality of the thing is we are predominantly a school that, I don't even want to use the term minority because we're not a minority. It's a school composed of people of color. The majority of the school is derived of people of color. So in order for us to be aware of what's going on, not just at City College, but outside, we need to be in tune with the aggressions and the microaggressions that are happening at universities across different states. And Missouri is a prime example of the Black community being tired of being treated as second-class citizens.
We decided to stop students to find out their definition of what a student activist is.
A student activist is someone, a student on campus who advocates for something or someone and is in support of either that particular person or an issue and stands either for, against, or for a change for it.
I would have to say a student activist is someone who firstly listens and tries to get the full breadth of student issues and struggles, and then in a concerted effort basically address those issues and try to affect change.
We had the honor of speaking to Tammy David, the Vice President of Student Public Affairs, to hear her take on student activism and her opinion on CCNY's activism.
I think a student activist is someone who takes extra time out of their lives to go against the grain in order to fight for resources or support or anything on campus that they feel the students should have access to. A student activist can be someone who fights for more resources, or they could be fighting for a space on campus or just a voice, or they could be fighting against something that they consider an injustice.
Tammy David considers herself to be a student activist who vouches for student rights. However, when asked about City College and its current practice in activism, she responds and says,
I consider myself a student activist because I love my school, but I definitely don't think it's perfect, and I think that there's work to be done. So
we asked her for her honest opinion on whether she considers City College to be an active campus for student change and activism, and this is what she says.
This one's loaded. If I can be honest with you, no. And it breaks my heart. I think City College was once a really great school for, how do I say this, radical activity. So the students of City College used to be so gung-ho, ready to unite and fight regardless of whatever situation they were faced with or whatever happens with the media. But I see now that more and more students are feeling the pressure of financial burden and with just trying to get out of here, that they don't really want to commit and band with their school against these issues, even if they are activists outside of school, is the crazy thing. Like, some people will go to rallies outside of school but not participate with their brothers and sisters on campus. So I guess no, it's leaving us.
Whether City College is an active campus for student activism or not, one thing remains: the need for unity and a collaborative effort to attack problems facing students. Niama Corey, MCA News.